Hello, everyone. How's it going? Steven Schinder of Yes Shift and Drum Talk TV. This is broadcasting on both places, if I did this right. And yeah, this is a bit of a bonus episode, I guess you could say. Last night, I went to a concert that included three different bands slash artists, and it was a really fun time. It kind of goes outside of the realm of prog, so um, yeah, I don't think there's much overlap between fans of these bands slash artists and fans of Yes and other prog bands, but it was a really fun time, and I figured I'd come out and talk about it. So yesterday was May the 4th, Star Wars Day, and I figured that as a okay, I should like rewind. Okay, so the concert I went to included Happy Sad Face, Ruth Radelet, and Starfucker. Yeah, that's the band's name. It's spelled STRFKR. So, in some places, I guess they have to say it like that or Star Effer, but here at the venue in the concert, they were saying Starfucker. So that is the name of that band. And so I thought that was a funny thing to see on Star Wars Day of all days. But the main reason, like the way that I found out about this concert was because I was looking up when Ruth Radelet's next concert around the Los Angeles area would be. As Dad has mentioned on the show before, I introduced him to the band Chromatics at some point. The way I found out about that band, synth pop, dream pop, it's kind of an indie band, no longer together, but I found out about them by hearing the song of theirs, The River, during an improv event back in mid 2016. And then about a year later, when I was watching Twin Peaks The Return, the revival of the classic TV changing show, the Chromatics appeared performing Shadow at the end of part two of The Return. And that moment has always stuck with me. It felt very dreamlike watching that song being performed, and it stuck with me. So I delved into their music. And fast forward a few years, there are changes in the band and the label, I suppose. And so the band breaks up, but you have people moving on, and Ruth Radelet, the singer, she put out an EP called The Other Side back in, I think it was maybe 2022, maybe toward the end of 2022. And so yeah, it's cool to see her career thriving, doing solo stuff. So when I got the ticket for this, I saw that she was opening for this band, Starfucker, which is an indie rock band. I believe they're also considered synth pop as well. There's definitely like synth stuff at the concert, so maybe indie pop too. So it seemed like a good mix having those two. I checked out a couple of their songs, and then I listened to their latest album, which is titled Parallel Realms. And they have like a very colorful aesthetic in the art that they use. So yeah, I saw that they were playing in at the Bellwether here in Los Angeles, and for two nights, May 3rd and May 4th. And I chose May 4th because, on top of it being funny that it was Star Wars Day, it would also be the fifth anniversary of the only time I saw Chromatics perform live, which was on May 4th, 2019, over at the what was the venue called? I think it was called the Observatory over in San Diego. I went to a friend's wedding and then went to that concert, so it was quite a packed day that day. So for this May the 4th, I hung out with a few friends, watched the re-release of The Phantom Menace, and then came home, took care of some stuff, and then went off to the Bellwether. But by this point, I had found out that there was also a third artist who's going to play at the show, which was Happy Sad Face. And the description that I found for Happy Sad Face, and I listened to the album that's out, Put a Shield on Your Heart, which is on Bandcamp. But yeah, Happy Sad Face, the description I found says Happy Sad Face are based out of Joshua Tree, California. Their music is described as psychedelic pop, a project built first as a soundtrack to an award winning film. Happy Sad Face has emerged as a merger in emerging emergence, acting and reacting much like hydrogen molecules in water. Breaking onto the scene, old, broken, and jaded, Happy Sad Face approaches songwriting slowly, almost too slow, like you wouldn't even think any songwriting and was happening at all. But it is. With a new album set for release winter 2024, Happy Sad Face is worried that the album will be cold out there and might need more layers. Look for Happy Sad Face on tour with STRFKR this year. So yeah, the music by Happy Sad Face does very much sound like psychedelic pop. It kind of sounds like a bit funky in places as well. And so yeah, I went to the Bellwether, and this was a really cool venue. You would have one room that had blue lighting, and another that has like red walls and a disco ball thing. The place where you buy food has like a lit up sign above it that just says "eat," and they have like crispy chicken and fries and drinks and whatnot. That room has a screen, and this is on the second level. So that room has a screen so that if you need to eat but don't want to miss out, you can see the concert being broadcast live on that screen. And of course, you can already hear it like pretty well, like out the door because it's like right below. So I thought that was cool, and I saw a couple people briefly dancing to Starfucker music. Because I was up there in that restaurant for part of that set, and yeah, people danced next to the screen very briefly. They could have gone on longer with the dancing, but I guess I don't know. Maybe they were just like um, doing a bit and not fully committing. But yeah, it was a cool vibe. People just chilling and watching music. And on the floor, this was non reserved seating. So you have people standing like crowded on the floor in front of the stage, but also on the second level, you have people standing behind the rails looking down at the performers. And this is an amazing, well designed venue. It's really cool. So the first artist, like I mentioned, was Happy Sad Face. And this was one person, an anonymous person, apparently wearing some sort of mask and a red long hair wig thing. Um, and the instrumentation is pre-recorded, but Happy Sad Face sings along to it. And apparently, like it's on shuffle, so I guess each time it's not the same set list, so it could be like same songs but randomized, and they're all from that first album, Put a Shield on Your Heart. At least I think all of them are from there. I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, the vibe felt very fun, kind of silly. Um, there were kind of slightly risque moments, but it never got like too edgy. It was all very much in good spirits and great vibes. So yeah, very great showmanship from Happy Sad Face. There was like someone standing like near where I was who kept yelling "Happy Sad Face," so people were like really into this. So the set list that I've written down for Happy Sad Face's portion of the thing is Heart Shield, I Like Girls, City Boy, and then this next song, I'm not sure if this was Life Force, a Worst Thing, or Work It Out, but I'm pretty sure it had the lyrics, Don't Want to Talk About It. And right as it was starting, Happy Sad Face mentioned, "Oh, this has a French horn solo that costs $1,500, so you better appreciate it." But I don't know if that was in reference to this song or the song before it. Um, but in any case, after that was Heart Turned Gold, and then Polyester Remembers, and then Open Up. And yeah, like, and this was also, I don't know if I mentioned this. This Starfucker tour was the final date on this 30-date tour that was going on. Um, and Happy Sad Face, again, great showmanship, and it was very much kind of off the wall and kind of beyond what I typically attend when it comes to music artists. But yeah, I thought this was quite fun. And then after a little break, Ruth Radelet, I feel like I may have mispronounced her name in the past. That's embarrassing. She and her band get on the stage, and so she plays most of the songs from her EP, The Other Side. So it starts with Stranger, Sometimes, Crimes, and then I thought she was gonna play the fourth song from her EP as well. Um, but I can kind of understand why maybe she didn't. It does have like the finger snapping sound effect, and maybe that wouldn't translate as well in the live setting. It's called Be Careful. So she didn't play that, but she played Youth, and that's my favorite song on the EP because it reminds me of, when you're growing older and you look back at who you were, even just several years back, it kind of feels like a different person. And yeah, I really love how introspective Ruth's songs are. Um and Happy Sad Faces songs, they had a fun way of dealing with themes of relationships and stuff. Ruth's were, they felt a bit more like, um what's the word, like more introspective and a bit like slower paced, but it's just so beautiful, these songs. And I got the vinyl of this. There's a merch stand, and I figured, I mainly came to see Ruth's set. That was the main draw for me, so I'm gonna get the vinyl of this EP. Let me just hold it up real quick. So yeah, that's a really great photography right there. He got her in a car, and she's in the. I think this is in Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. Which during the show she said she considers Los Angeles her adopted hometown. So that was very nice. And let me just get the sleeve out of here. Um, okay, here we go. So we got that, some more great photography. Yeah. And on the back, you got the lyrics to the songs. And let me take out the disc real quick. This is a green record here. Yeah, it kind of looks like, it reminds me of those lime flavored candies. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird holding it in front of me and kind of seeing the computer screen like as if it's through a green filter. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this in my possession. When I saw Chromatics 5 years ago, I got stuff from the merch stand. They had these CDs in these mini LP sleeves. I don't quite remember if they had full size LPs, but it's cool to have this full size LP here. And I like how the visual identity for Ruth's work is different from the visual identity that you would see for Chromatics. So after showcasing the material from that EP, Ruth played an Elliott Smith cover. It's called Twilight, and then a Leonard Cohen cover called Leaving the Table. And then after that, she played Let Go, which I believe she played with another artist or band. Um, or did she, or is that some other song? No, okay, so okay, I'm thinking of a song from later in the set. Let Go is hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the context for this. Mm, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure there's like not too much dead space in the thing, but okay. So anyway, just chugging along. After Let Go, she played "Shoot Me Down," which is another single that she's released, and then "Soft Kill," which I think she might have done with someone else, if I'm not mistaken. I think that might be what it is. Yeah, she did that one with The Line. And then she closed out her set list saying, I'm sure some of you will know this one. And I knew what it was going to be because over uh, on socials, she reshares people, fans' clips, excerpts from the concert that they film on their phone. And those are not very distracting in this setting. I feel like it's pretty good, like the way it's handled. But there was someone near me who kept trying to talk loudly to a couple of the people that he knew. And like, don't be that person if you go to any of these concerts, even if it is this type of setting. I'm there to experience and appreciate the music, and I just know. So she played Shadow, and what's interesting about this set is there's no keyboardist, so you hear Shadow without the keyboard, but it works, the way that they do the arrangement, and it makes it a bit more unique, having it be a different experience from when I saw Chromatics perform it 5 years ago. So this is the only Chromatics song in this set. Um, and I do kind of wonder if maybe it's considered the most popular one because it was on Twin Peaks: The Return. Might have even premiered on that show. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really great song. It's a song that has stuck with me for the past 7 years. There's just something about it. I did kind of wish that she had done "I'm on Fire," a cover of the Bruce Springsteen song. Um, she did that with Chromatics when I saw her perform with them 5 years ago, and it's beautiful the way that she covers it. But or the way that Chromatics did it, but I guess like without it in this set, it made the night feel more different. I can see how maybe if it had "I'm on Fire" and "Shadow," it would have kind of felt somewhat similar to that night 5 years ago. But anyway, it's a great cover, and I was really happy with this set. And props to Ruth, and props to the people who performed with her, because this was just such a great set right here. Um, and then after that, of course, you have the Starfucker set, which is about an hour and a half, I think it was, maybe a little longer. And I was able to keep track of the set list. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with them, but for this portion, I was looking at Setlist FM, trying to see if maybe the songs for this night matched with the ones of the previous night. Same venue but different night. And for the most part, up to a time, at least it seemed like it did. So they performed "While I'm Alive," "Together Forever," Kali Gibran, I hope I pronounced that correctly, "Underwater and Air," "Leaving," "Never the Same," Ronald Gregory Erickson II, "Mystery Cloud," German Love. And then after that, I wasn't quite sure if it was this exact same order as the same night. But the previous night, for what it's worth, after this, apparently they performed Hard Smart Beta, Sazed, or Armatron. I do think they played Armatron at this show. Golden Light, I think they might have done that too. A lot of nice things, Julius. And then they for sure played Open Your Eyes. There was some crowd surfing going on at that point. There were these people in astronaut costumes. And so like there's a bit of crowd surfing. And I don't know how people get comfortable with crowd surfing. It seems like really scary to me personally. But yeah, and again, like the synth aesthetic is just so great with Starfucker. Then they did a cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And I think Chromatics did a couple cover versions of that a while back as well. So it was interesting here. Definitely a different take, but people knew the words and were singing along to it. And for the first two artists, I was watching from the floor, but for most of the Starfucker set, for a time I was in the restaurant, and then I came to the, by the rails looking down from the second floor. And so after this, going off the list from a previous night, they may have played Atlantis, Medicine, Millions, and Quality Time. At one point, one of the astronauts like climbed up from like, I guess they were crowd surfing, and they climbed up the rail and onto the second level, and people were cheering. I was really caught off guard by that. I was like not too far from them on the second level. I was just a few feet away. I was like, why is everyone cheering as I saw the person coming up? And Happy Sad Face was in one of these astronaut suits. I think they're astronaut suits. They could be scuba suits, but I don't know. It could go either way. But yeah, or not scuba suits, but like deep diving, with big helmet type suits. But yeah, Happy Sad Face was dressed as one of these astronauts or whatever they were. So it was cool to get, someone from earlier in the concert involved. And it's not the last time that this happens. So for the encore, apparently they may have done Rainzo, and then they definitely did Chislers, which is when they got Ruth Radelet on stage to sing that one. I believe the song is in French, so it was nice to see her on the stage again, performing with Starfucker. It's really nice collaboration between the artists on this tour. And then apparently after that is Interspace 3, Pop Song, and Bury Us Alive. And people were like really into it. I was back on the floor on the first level for the encore portion of the set list. And evidently Starfucker has a huge following. Like these other artists, Ruth Radelet and Happy Sad Face, they definitely have their following as well. So you had people, like lots of people coming in for them. But yeah, Starfucker, they've been around since 2008 apparently, and I guess lots of their fans are like drawn in, and you combine that with like the fans of Ruth and the fans of Happy Sad Face, and everyone seemed to be vibing really well. And I mean, I know I mentioned the person who like wouldn't stop talking earlier, but for the most part, everyone seemed like really into this mixture of these three artists slash bands, and it was a natural fit given the genres. And it was really fun for me because it really felt like going outside of my comfort zone. The first concert I went to for this year was Earthside and Caligula's Horse, progressive metal. And metal is not quite something I gravitate towards. So progressive metal is a bit more palatable to me. And I was surprised that it wasn't like as loud or deafening as I was perhaps expecting. Maybe it was where I was sitting, but yeah, like that was a great concert too. And so this felt like another step in terms of checking out stuff that's newer to me outside of what I know, if that makes sense. So yeah, all around it was a great concert. I'm glad that I was able to attend this, and looking forward to seeing whatever these artists put out in the future. And again, I'm super happy with the vinyl that I was able to get. And in terms of, since this is going on Yes Shift, I might as well mention there's been some cool stuff coming from Yes's social media. You get clips from the tour and rehearsals and the Ask Yes series with the Q&As of the band members. I believe they've completed that. Billy Sherwood's just posted the other day, and he was the remaining one that needed to be posted. And David Watkinson, he he did an article that was posted on Yes World about the Roger Dean stage sets. And I also I've been watching a show on Netflix called Dead Boy Detectives. It's apparently in the Sandman universe, from Vertigo, DC Comics, what have you. And it's really interesting. And in the third episode, Owner of a Lonely Heart plays like throughout, like kind of on a loop. So that was kind of like I'd seen someone post about that recently, and even so I expected it, but when I got to the episode, I was kind of surprised like how often it popped up. I thought it was gonna be just for one scene, but yeah, that was a little surprise there. So tomorrow I might be reviewing something else. And then for sure on Tuesday, we are having Miguel Falcao, or also known as Miguel Bass, on Yes Shift at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. UK time, talking about Play for Chris 10, which you can read all about at miguelbase.com, where you can submit tributes to Chris Squire. And then we're having someone else on May 9th. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. All right. So, thank you all for tuning in. I hope I didn't forget anything in this recap, but yeah, it was an all around fun time. And yeah, very cool. So I'll see you all next time, whether it be on Yes Shift, Drum Talk TV, or both. So see you around.